Okay, good evening and welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Dungeon Muser this evening. Tonight, we are going to do a bit of an unusual video for the channel, and we're going to be doing a bit of an unboxing tonight. I just received a copy of both my copy or received a delivery of my copy of the brand new Beadle and Grimm's Gold Edition Absalom City of Lost Omens box set, as well as the copy that Beadle and Grimm's very generously sent us to raffle off as one of the prizes in our next Heroes Save Villages raffle. So I thought I'd take tonight to do an unboxing for that. Rather than opening it up on my own, I'll share with you folks what's in the box, primarily to give you a sense of what you can win. For those who may not be familiar with the channel, we run a charity initiative called Heroes Save Villages that benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. It's a really great organization active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing efforts at the time of recording in Ukraine. They had villages in Ukraine that had been affected by the war, and they have been providing emergency efforts or emergency relief efforts for those kids and for other kids affected by the conflict. Beadle and Grimm has supported this initiative since our first raffle. Beadle and Grimm's, if you're not familiar with them, they are a publisher of, up until this point, except for one Kickstarter, primarily a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, just amazing deluxe versions of some of the 5th edition adventures. This is their first gold edition box set for the Pathfinder 2nd edition game. Regular viewers of the channel will know that although I've run some 5th edition, Pathfinder 2 is really of those two is my preferred game, and Pathfinder 2 is one of my absolute favorites. I will also, so regular viewers of the channel will also know that we run a lot of old school stuff on the channel as well, including some AD&D and AD&D 2nd edition. And this product in particular, without having seen the particulars of what's in it, it reminded me of an older product called City System that came out for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st edition for the Forgotten Realms setting. That was just a series of massive maps for the Waterdeep city in the Forgotten Realms on the northern Sword Coast. This one, though, is their first, it's their first foray into a box set for Pathfinder 2nd edition. I still am holding out hopes that we'll get to see some more gold edition box sets or platinum edition or silver edition box sets of some of my favorite adventure paths, particularly the Iron Gods one, but I mean, I think I may be hoping too much for that. But the reason I wanted to primarily do the unboxing is because, as I said, Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse and the folks there have been so generous with our charity initiatives that, again, they've sent a copy of this as one of our prizes. So our next charity raffle will be on June 1st, 2022. For every $25 Canadian that you donate through the link down below to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, you get one chance to win the grand prize, which is actually a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the 5th edition adventure. And the second prize will be this. The one I'm opening is the one I purchased myself. So this is going to be just mine. Whatever copy is won by whatever generous donor wins it, you'll be getting a brand new one. I'm leaving it still in the packaging, so you'll be receiving it as if it had left the Goblin's warehouse, as it were. So with those, I'm just going to double check and make sure that we are actually streaming here. And let's see here. We are. Let me get that going. Then we'll jump in. And one thing just to say as well, too, if you're not familiar with the channel, I know that a lot of unboxing people like doing like top-down views and stuff like that. I don't do that here. So if you prefer that, that's great. I don't need to hear about it. I don't really care. I'm sure there will be other folks who will be doing similar unboxings as well, too. This is just the way we do things around here. So before we open the box, let's talk about what Absalom is, too. So Absalom is the arguably the most important, and largest city in all of the setting of the Inner Sea and Golarion in general. Maybe not the largest city in Golarion. I'm not really an expert in the Golarion, the setting for Pathfinder 2nd edition. I should say it's Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, but I I have picked up the original book for it, which is pretty freaking cool. So this is the original format that it came out in, was a big one of these oversized setting books that they've been releasing for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It has just an enormous amount of setting stuff in it. Like it's easily up there with some of the very best city source books from Dungeons and Dragons, or from honestly any other comparable place. It's not quite the size of Tolos, of Monty Cook's Tolos, but it is what it is. The setting is, it was also featured in a recent adventure path called Agents of Edgewatch, I think. In addition to this, they also released a poster map for it. I'm a sucker for big city maps, even though I run all my games online. So I snagged this, and this is honestly the reason I got this was because it reminded me of that city system thing, where in the city system box set, what you got for Waterdeep was a series of 6 maps. Was it 6 or was it more? Maybe it was like 12 or 9 or 12 maps. I might be. It's been a while. I don't have my copy of city system anymore. But in any event, what this gives you is this big map of Absalom. So you can see that, and the maps themselves in here were pretty cool. At the time I ordered this, I did know that I was getting my copy of the Beadle and Grimm's box set anyway, but I kind of had it in my mind that I'd like to do a comparison, and having more maps is, from my perspective, never a bad thing. So that is the, what do you call it? That is the version that is available otherwise. Beadle and Grimm, traditionally what they do is they'll break down for the adventures for previous gold editions, silver editions, platinum editions. It'll break down the module into different components, so it'll have different little booklets in there. There will also be additional materials in there, usually some extra adventures, in addition to a bunch of like cool in-universe handouts, maps, miniatures sometimes, and a DM screen usually, and these awesome hangers as well too, these combat card hangers. So I'm excited to see what's in this one. I have not gone through the actual list to see what's on there. Now, one thing I'll point out that I love is they have this Beadle and Grimm's tape, caution, packed by goblins, that never fails to get a comment from the UPS guy or the FedEx guy or whoever is delivering it. So Beadle and Grimm's, I love you continue to make use of that branded tape in it. So let us open the box. I wanted to show you folks that the taping on it, just because it amuses me every time one of these packages arrives. So I would have opened this beforehand, but I wanted to share that with you. So let's get to it. Here we go. Come on. All right, I will open it without managing to wound myself. So that is good. Let's see what we get in here. All right, so when you open up the box, what you find, let me get this in a properly weighted way, is a bunch of neat stuff waiting for you inside with a, what am I doing here? Camera left. Come on, Madison. There we go. Oh, look at that. That map. Oh my goodness. You got a big map in here. All right, so this is nothing. This is just a space holder. On top we have a handout, the Pickled Imp. Yep, so that's great. I don't know that, honestly, I haven't read enough of the actual hardback. I was waiting for this to come out to really dive into Absalom. But the Pickled Imp, I'm sure, is one of the locations in the box set. Let's see our small package thing here. Let's see what this is. My dog Anna is very excited. She loves tearing apart cardboard, so she can see she's got a great big cardboard box that she'll be able to give some love to. Okay, so what we've got in the first packaging here appears to be some kind of little, like, curios box. Let's see, wrapped up in tissue paper. Okay, so what we've got is, oh man, okay, so here it's actually wood carved coasters. Oh man, that's super cool. Yeah, and then each of these is hard. Let me hold up there. The Tri-Stripe Society. You can hear ASMR. content. Yeah, and look at that. Oh my goodness. It's a little wooden thing in each of the coasters. There's 4 coasters in there. I guess you could use to set down your drinks for around the table. That is super cool. I really like that. So that is what's wrapped up in the tissue paper there. That's super cool. Let's take a look at the map next here. All right, so the maps always come in these awesome branded, or I should say stylized, or whatever, designed things. I think this is the insignia for Absalom, if I believe. Again, my ignorance of the setting is really shining through here. Well done, Madison. God forbid you do some research before you open this shit. Let's see what's inside. Okay. We got quite a few maps inside. Come on. Anna Banana is trying to help us here. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, let's see here. All right. Oh, wow. Looks like there's quite a few. Okay, so there's... come on. There we go. Working it out here. All right, so we'll put that in. Okay, so the maps we've got... Oh, my. So as is often the case, there's a mix of, like, setting ones and... like in-setting ones, battle mats, and other stuff in here. Okay, so I'll try and hold these up one at a time here. And then I'll leave it to a problem for me going forward. Okay, so first up is an overall map of Starstone Island. Look at that. This thing looks to be about 2 foot by 1 foot, maybe? No, 1.5 by 1. And it's got this, it's made of this cool, like harder, almost parchment paper. With a textured finish to it. So it has a kind of in-universe feel. We've got, oh boy, a couple of, so I think these are the battle mats. All right, so we got some battle mats here, including, I'll hold up only a couple of these because I'm sure, look at that though, my goodness. Wow. These are all double-sided. That's the Grand Bazaar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones in here. I'll hold up the backside of one of these here again. Look at that. My goodness. And if you're not familiar with Pathfinder uses basically the same scale as what D&D does as far as miniatures and such go. So this is completely transferable with whatever your favorite edition of D&D might be as well. And then we've got, oh boy. Wow. These are the maps of Absalom themselves. So it appears to be reproductions of the same maps that were in the map folio, but they are bigger and on better paper. Look at this. Wow. That's one of the 4. So, like, if you're going to be using these at the table, like this could fill your table, and I guess helpfully anchor it down with your nifty coasters as well. So that is great. And there's also the maps for the island are on a harder cardstock or heavier cardstock. So they will, I think, take a better beating than what those flimsier ones would from the map set. So that's very cool. All right, and then we have, oh boy, the box set itself. Now, oh man, it's heavy, or I'm out of shape, or it's a combination of the two. That is definitely a possibility. So these are all, if you're hearing the popping in the background, all these are wrapped with really, really, like just a ton of bubble wrap. I've never had anything as securely packaged as when it comes from Beadle and Grimm's. They do a terrific job. Cubicle 7, actually, I should say. Cubicle 7 also does an amazing job of packing. I've never had anything damaged with them. Wowzers. Okay, so this is the first impression of the box set itself. Again, it's heavy, but this is the box set. Let me see if I can. Oh, okay, I can capture it there. Look at that. The There's that metallic finish to the Beadle and Grimm's logo there. Honestly, when I saw this on displayed on the website, I saw just the white, and I thought, I was concerned a little bit that it might just be fairly plain, you know, that it would just be a plain white box set. It's not the case. It's got like it's got a subtle shading to it from the top to bottom on here. I don't think my camera with this fucking ring light shining on it is going to capture it, but from the top to bottom there's a slight variation in the coloring, so it looks very much like not just like a plain white box. It's got some texture or gradient at the very least to the thing. It's really nice, and I like the kind of natural coloring in the logo on the front. From the sides, that's what you're looking like. So big, won't close all the way, but it's a different size. Oh, look at that! Cool. Very neat. All right. Let's see what secrets lurk inside. I think it's a little taller than the older versions, or than the other versions too. I think the dimensions are slightly different, which is kind of neat. Or no, you know, I might be wrong. This is about the dimensions of their Curse of Strahd box set. Okay, so first thing we're greeted with is the usual welcome thing that comes in all of theirs, and I think there's usually a little blurb. So this is from the fine folks at Beadle and Grimm's. Dear adventurer, if you love poetry or even went to high school, then you're probably familiar with Robert Frost's famous musing about a pair of diverging roads in a yellow wood. In the poem, one of these roads is plagued with dragons. The other road, one could also call it a path, is full of dragons as well, but it's also home to a healthy dose of hyakumes, tolokans, and bog mummies. The point of the poem, if we remember it correctly, is that both paths are awesome, full of adventure, and you can totally experience them in equal measure. We're grateful to Paizo for letting us set up shop in the historic city of Lost Omens. This book is a GM's dream and an almost inexhaustible resource of fascinating characters and mysterious places. The opportunity to develop and expand on some of its dark corners has been a true creative joy, and we're excited to share it with you. So warm up your dice. Let's walk some new paths together and stab some bog mummies while we're at it, because Robert Frost can't clear these roads all by himself. Sincerely, Bill, Charlie, Ron, John, Matthew, and Paul. And then they've got a picture of one of my favorite additions to the Pathfinder lore, the Shuni, the little pug people that were introduced in Extinction Curse. Oh, and Anna's crying in the background. She's a big fan of Shunies. All right, so then what you also find in here, let's start with some of the small stuff on top. There are some handouts. I think this is a coin from the Aspis Corporation. I might be wrong. My apologies to anyone who is more steeped in Pathfinder or Golarian lore. I'm sorry for what stuff I get wrong here. There is also a star, which might be a agent or a badge, like for agents of Edgewatch. Nope, that's got to be right here. I believe this. Look at that thing. Pretty cool. That's awesome. And then we've got two little bags. Ooh, here we go. Little bags in there too. Let's see what's inside here. Yeah, the star. I don't know what that is. Oh, look at this. There's a Beadle and Grimm's coin with, I guess, the currency of the realm for Absalom. And in the that was in the red bag. In the white bag, what do we got in here? Smaller coins as well. So, I know, sweetie. Okay, then the next thing that greets you are stacks of hangers. And what these are is they are something that's designed to be hung on the back of your, or in the front of your DM screen. I'll open this up so I can show you what I'm talking about. But usually what they have is a picture on the front of whatever NPC or monster or whatever you're dealing with. In some cases, it's setting content, so it's like that. And let's just quickly pop these open, and I'll give you an example. I am particularly looking forward to these because Pathfinder 2nd has has products out called Bestiary Battle Boxes, and the battle boxes have these beautiful oversized cards, which I have. I've been running quite a bit of Pathfinder 2. That's what comes in the battle box is these oversized suckers. So I have been curious to see what these will be like in comparison. Because I suspected they would have something like that. All right, so here's the first hanger. These are... Oh, this is great. Okay, so let me hold this up. So this is, I can tell you, is the Talaxian Embassy. The reason I know that, on the back, it gives me all the information about it, including key locations and key NPCs, which is very cool. It tells you what neighborhood it's in as well. So at a glance, you can see where the thing is, and there are a stack of these things in here, and they all seem to be... Oh, that is really cool. So these are all from the different locations from around Absalom, and every one of them is set up with the same... Man, oh man, look at that. And I can tell you this one is the Halls of Commerce. And it's got the little blurb on there too. Tells you what location it is. Tells you what it is. And then the NPCs that will be found there. And then again, like it's a hanger, so it's to... You put that on the front of your screen, so you have the information facing you as the DM or GM in Pathfinder, I guess. And yeah, oh my goodness. And it looks to be art that was taken directly from the box set too. Oh man, look at that. Golgomod. It's a 60-foot tall golem that resembles a gigantic suit of plate and armor with a cannon-like device in place of its left arm, built by the Archmage Beldrin long ago as a defensive weapon for the city. And that is located 175. Again, it's right... It actually situates the map on the thing you're looking at. It's right, there we go. See where it says 175 on there? So at a glance, you can see where this thing is. That is awesome. Holy smokes. Super, super cool. And like, talk about a way to continuously at the table reinforce the grandeur of the greatest city, you know, in Absalom. That is a really, really great addition. That's, wow, great stuff. I am going to get use out of that. Let me put this down over here. Okay, and then the next thing was, this is the stack of the encounters, I believe. Let's see what's in here. Man, oh man, like that's just, I don't think they did that for the last like setting box set they did. By they, I mean Beadle and Grimm's, was the gold edition of Eberron, and that one I don't think they actually had quite the degree. That was, you know, for a whole setting, not just a single city. But man, what a great asset for conveying the, you know, the sense of place for each of those things, and for making the job of the DM easier in keeping track of this gigantic fictitious city. Okay, so this is just as with the other ones. So it is characters, and on the back, it's got the full information about them. So that is Scion Lord Salado of House Morilla. Gives stats for them. Let's see here. So these, although I think there's not actual like combat stats given for these in the book, there are. Let's see if there aren't any monster encounters in here. But it gives you. Oh, so you know what? I'm a dummy. When you are. I'll bet when you're having the hangers of the location on here, those of you listening at home who may be a step ahead of me on this, I do apologize for my slow uptake here, but you hang that up there. This is the Talaxian Embassy, and then what you also do is find the corresponding NPCs out of this stack, and you've got that hanging next to you with the full information of what they're up to, who they are. Are these in alphabetical order? I don't know. Let's see here. In any event, for like a RP heavy setting like this one, that is really cool. Really, really good. Yeah, that is just going to be super helpful for keeping track. Again, like with a city. In a setting that you create yourself or that you're making up on the fly, it's easier to keep track of characters because they're all out of your brain. But when you're running a setting that has a lot of, you know, its own unique things in it, it's very easy to get lost or to spend a lot of time flipping through and trying to look up, you know, stuff. This is very cool that you've got these really helpful handouts. And like, to give you an idea, that's how much information you get on the back of this. It appears like it's duplicating the entire content of their write-ups in the book. So even like for doing campaign prep, having this stuff sitting out in front of you with the pictures and the information on the back, that's almost, you know, easier if you've only got one copy of the book than flipping through the book to try and find what you're looking for. Awesome stuff. Really, really great. Okay, cool. That is excellent. All right, so next up we've got a small stack of cards in here. I should show you, this is what awaits us within here still. There's always so much stuff in these boxes. Okay. Let's see. You know, the one thing I got to say as well, because Pathfinder 2 is one of my favorite games, we just last night wrapped up a war story session, a 14-part war story, playing with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We had a fight with a zombie dragon. That was amazing. It's really, really suits that kind of set piece encounter quite well. Okay, so these little cards are, hold this up here, whoop, 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 whoop. Rumor cards. So these are all in different handwriting. I don't know whether this is drawn from the book itself because I'm just not familiar enough with the book. But let me give you an example out of here that hopefully won't spoil. There we go. This is something that won't spoil hopefully anything because there's no things. But look at this. So here's what the card would look like. Oh, come on, Madison. Camera. Ugh, anyway. A lich dedicated to Urgathoa resides in the Undercity. What the lich is planning is unknown, but it's certainly up to something, and nothing good can come from such a being or its designs. What I would, without reading what they suggest, I mean, what I would do is deal these out. If you have your characters have a night at the tavern or an evening to, socialize with a bunch of gossips or gadabouts or whatnot, you might want to slip these to the characters and see what comes of them. And you could, randomly determine it by shuffling the deck, or you could stack the deck in favor of what you have planned for your campaign. So that's pretty cool. Next up is going to be I think this is going to be the in-universe stuff from it, which is always cool. Let's see here. Come on. All right. And here we go. Come on. So first up we've got a pamphlet, Become a Citizen of Absalom, which gives you guaranteed rights of citizens, ways to join the guards, join the councils. Exactly the kind of awesome in-universe, adventure prompting thing that I expect from a Beadle and Grimm product. That's super cool. Let's see. We also have an invitation to a hidden dinner. We have. Let's see here. Invitation. Do you want to race? I don't know what that has to do with. Another invitation to a party. Gotta say, more popular than I expected. Next up is in-universe tract, political cartoon from the Absalom papers, I take it, or perhaps something circulated by one of the factions or guilds or unions there. Another one, invitation to a storytelling contest. And each of these is made out of a different paper too. It has a different texture to it. This is neat. Some kind of hidden map to some thing here. What do we got here? Oh, and we've got, I think, a copy of the actual paper. Absalom needs Avid. Sentient Star. Was it? No, Senite. Senite Star, not Sentient Star. Look at that. It looks like these are all adventure prompts as well. And some other things in here too. So really, again, they do just such a good job of making these awesome handouts. Look at that. A poster for Pathfinder Society. And we got here handwritten thing. Oh, someone's upset about the theater, it looks like. Yeah. Someone is not happy. But what is happening in that theater? Art critics are the worst. All right, then we've got some handouts for characters. They always do this in the games in the other box sets too, but they've got sample characters. Our characters are, let's see here, a human squire who is, what's the class? Champion, so like a paladin in D&D, if you're not familiar with that. They have the full information about that. Pathfinder is a little bit more complicated game than 5e at first level, so it gives you all the rules you need for your class, for your background, for your starting various feats. There's a gnome. He is a vivacious gnome menagerie dung sweeper who's a bard. So that's cool. There is a seer elf Pathfinder hopeful wizard, so one who wants to join the Pathfinder Society, I guess, and then a tailed goblin, child of the puddles, which I think is the slum or one of the slums in Absalom, who is a rogue. So you got a goblin rogue, an elf wizard, a human champion, and a gnome bard as your party for a starting group. I like the look of the things too. So I think in past what they've done is for the 5th edition ones, they've presented them in the format that like 5th edition character sheets are. This is not what a Pathfinder 2nd edition character sheet looks like. So I like that they've decided to just make it look legible and functional without adhering to the format in the rulebook. Oh, yeah, smart. All right. So let's see here. Next up, we've got an introduction here. Tales from the Warehouse. I believe. Yes. These are which are a hallmark of the Beadle and Grimm's products, which are extra adventures. So it's extra content that isn't in the core book. Let's see here. We have 4 adventures: Crimson Corruption, Putrid Prize, Fun and Games, and A Ghastly Siege. And what Beadle and Grimm say: as you prepare to launch or continue your campaign in Absalom, we hope that this set of short adventures inspires you in your quest to challenge and delight your players. As always, use what you like, ignore what you don't, although we certainly hope you mostly use. Adventure on. And then, and complete with, you know what? I think those maps, so the big battle mats, at least some of them, are for these adventures, because I recognize them from within there. And it appears we've got some original art in here as well, which is pretty great. So 4 new adventures set in Absalom. What are the levels for these, does it say? One is for 6th level characters, and then for 4th level characters, and for... come on, you. 4. Looks like it does not matter. Fun and Games is a bonus encounter designed to be something extra for the characters. It isn't fixed on a level. And the second one is 2nd level. Great stuff. Okay, cool. So that is where the extra content comes in. We then have... Oh, damn it. The box set's so big. Let me just do one quick thing here. And rearrange my cards. There we go. Now I can fit everything in there. All right. Next up is the actual book itself. And as I suspected, it's been broken down into a number of booklets. I'll do that last because, that's going to be probably just the same content. Oh, yes. Then we have our Beadle and Grimm's DM screen. Now, this is the first DM screen they've produced for Paizo. Sorry, I'm a little stunned by what's in here. Wowzers. So one of the nice things they often do is, instead of just giving you like a reprint of what's inside the regular version of the DM screen or the GM screen in Pathfinder's or Paizo's case, what they'll often do is give you stuff that's useful for the adventure. So you can set this up apart from your, your regular screen. I'll show you. This is the image on it. And then within, you have, look at this. Okay. Nice little reference sheet for the actual cities, for what districts are which. References here for different political parties and temples, and rough descriptions of each of the locations, transport costs for things like renting a camel for the day or a dog cart for the day. Then in here, noble houses and other things, continued description of the different districts. And then, yeah, great. Additional information on the military, guilds and unions, and then it has some of the reference material from like travel speed, climb distance, swim distance, and then cover DCs by level, which is great, spell DCs by level, and then fixed DC. So these are things that are going to be for fact-specific stuff. That's really nice. And for the reason I like these so much anyway is, it obviously makes running the adventurers easier. But by not duplicating stuff, to be honest, like one of the things not of their product necessarily, but like when there are special versions of things released, especially with DM screens, things that duplicate stuff that you probably already buy is usually, it's an annoyance. This, like, it has the references on that, but this doesn't mean that I won't get use out of my other, Pathfinder screens. And Pathfinder has two different versions of this currently. Well, to be honest, there's three versions of the screens, but there's two different versions that are. One of them is landscape. One of them is what is it? Panoramic. I think I may have those wrong. One goes this way, one goes this way. And so it's nice if you're using the one that goes this way, you can pair it up easily and have an extended, DM screen for the stuff. And for running a complex setting like this where there's a lot of moving parts, this kind of stuff to make for quick reference is extremely helpful. This is duplicated from the hardback as well. Like, that content is in there too, but you're not flipping through screens. You just got this all in front of you. Love it. And then I don't know if you need a visual aid here, but let's give you one. So then what the hangers would look like, we'd be playing here. I'd have my DM screen up, or GM screen, I guess, for that. And I'd hang my hanger over there. And I'd tell you that is Mother Jackal. And I think I'm going to keep anything else secret because I don't know how well known Mother Jackal is, so to avoid spoilers for anybody. That's great. That's going to get use for sure. There is then a folder that has, let's see here. Oh yeah, I forgot about these. Oh man. Beadle and Grimm also usually incorporates or includes something like this too, which are just smaller handouts. And it looks like there's one for each of the different neighborhoods in there. And then if you want to add notes, for your campaign. One thing one of the resolutions I saw, this is a non sequitur, but at the beginning of the year, someone had said that no more saving things. That if you've got something that is supposed to be used in the game, like your character sheets or whatever else, or something, but you're saving it and you're not writing in the back of it, or you're not writing on it, fuck it, make use of it. Don't save. That's exactly what I plan to do with this. I'm going to make actual use of this. You can make notes on them. And it looks like it's every one of the districts. So even apart from having those big maps, if you're playing in a play space that doesn't accommodate those massive sprawling maps, what you can do is either set these things down or just keep them behind your GM screen. Now, the last thing are the actual books themselves, which is the duplication of what's in there. I won't go through this because, it's going to be the same content, but I will show you what all the covers are. Because who doesn't like seeing pretty pictures? Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Down. Okay, so we've got first one, pages 1 to 89, is the Absalom and Guide to the City, which is, again, a duplicate of what's in the thing. The amount of illustrations to help sell this isn't Beadle and Grimm's doing, and because got to see my friend the Shoonie once again. Look at that. Fucking love the Shoonie. It really gives you a great sense of like how to depict this magical metropolis. Look at that. Like, it helps that he's got. Oh, that's not the picture. There's another one where someone is herding an owl bear, and I'm a big owl bear fan, so I love that. But this, yeah, boy, oh boy, that's great stuff. So this is, and then just a couple more examples of illustrations in there too. Pathfinder 2 has really gone a long way to try and distinguish, take away some of the not stigma, but like the automatic associations that certain races have, because that's just the nature of the setting. The setting is not quite as keyed to alignment to race the way that it is in say a lot of the D&D settings. So it, except for Eberron. Eberron is a wildly different setting. Book number 2, same illustration I'm using as my accompanying one here, the Ascended Court. I think it's the ruling class, the docks. Or are these by? Oh man, they're by districts. Got it. For those of you at the home who reached this conclusion faster than me, thick as a fucking plank today. Here we go. Foreign quarter. And then the Petal district. So each of the books has a separate thing. So you'll know specifically where to look for the NPCs, for the information. The puddles. That's where that goblin grew up. The Wise quarter. This is a great idea. Really, really helpful. Walls, gates, and keeps. Look at that. Japers. And then 2 books worth of NPCs. Fuck, that is awesome. Oh, that's handy. So you can find all your information about this. And this is, okay, so this is, I will say, what are they called? Azerketi, I believe. These guys right here. This is a type of merfolk found in the Pathfinder or Paisos Golarian setting. These are, I can't remember what specific ones, but they're basically like the ones that live at the benthic depths. So they have these cool motes of light that they have on their bodies, like deep sea fish. I adore. We have a character in one of our campaigns that is based off of that, one of those images. So again, yeah, so what you can do is have separately open your reference books for the NPCs and other, oh, and there's a toolbox. It's in the toolbox. It's probably from the other thing, but the main book, NPCs by type, and then the Adventurer's Tool, yeah, so then the actual, yep, Azerketi, here we go. There's the Ancestry for playing the Azerketi. I think they're introduced in one of the other books as well. Look at this. I'll hold this up one more time because look at that illustration. My goodness. Super cool. Yeah, so anyway, that is, that's super helpful. So, like the, in the previous box sets that they've had, I buy like the idea that the smaller books is more helpful for navigating through the adventure for some, but I mean, I don't find it challenging to have it all in one book. So it kind of seemed like it's not a gimmick in the sense that it didn't have any value, just that it was very limited value for me. But for a setting box set like this, where I'm going to be tracking neighborhoods and NPCs and whatnot, having all that stuff broken up into the specific areas, so I can have the small map in front of me or in front of the players with the corresponding neighborhood, and have that NPC reference book plus my hangars of NPCs on it and hangars of the different buildings. Like, that's going to make for a really, really cool Absalom-focused setting. Now, I said at the outset as well, too, that they often include monster cards in their things, and they didn't. So there's nothing from any of the bestiary, the battle boxes are in here. And honestly, I'm completely fine with that because, again, like I don't want to have duplicates of things. And given the decision of having monster hangers for the sake of having monster cards, or have the hangers that have what they've done, which is the NPCs and the settings, I 100% support the decision they made to have that rather than the monster cards. It also means that they're not, they're not trying to duplicate what is already a really great product. Like I absolutely love the Pathfinder, and eventually they release them for Starfinder now too. But for the Pathfinder ones, Paizo is the one who actually publishes these things. It's not a third party that puts it together. So it's cool that they decided to just, not step on toes or give you part of a product. If you want to get the bestiary boxes, and it will. Oh boy. I'll just show you what that is, just so you know what I'm talking about. So that's the one for the bestiary. It has all the monsters from the bestiary in it, and all of them, full rules on them, are on the back of it. So, oh boy, it's not in the Absalom box set, but that is super awesome. So that is the contents of the box set. This is, I do not at all regret my purchase, and I am very excited to make use of this stuff. So for me, the things that, because let's talk about someone who runs things primarily online. There are some stuff in here that for sure is not going to be of value for me, at least not to be able to hand out to players. But I certainly can take pictures of everything or scans of everything and include that. But these things in particular, like the reference books for the NPCs and the focused neighborhood booklets, is going to be extraordinarily helpful for me for prepping and for running this stuff. And the DM screen I can definitely make use of, even though I don't have it on. I'm not actually physically setting it up, for ease of reference for those things that I need to look up quickly. And the extra adventures I can certainly make use of, which is also very cool. And the hangers, while I will not be able to do that, I can, since all the illustrations are taken from, oh, you know what? I might have already purchased this on Roll20, now that I think of it. So I can make use of all the illustrations that are from the Roll20 version of this and have those things for reminders for me. But in any event, that's just strictly talking from my experience, from someone who runs primarily all my games online, what value I'm going to see in this. But I am very, very impressed with the box set. It's even better than I expected it to be. And I think it's a worthy... It was not intended as being like a successor to those giant, city-based box sets of old, but I think it certainly could be held up to be the equal of any of those, because this is just a fantastic city box set. I can pack this stuff up afterwards, but that is the contents of the Beadle and Grimm's Gold Edition Absalom City of Lost Omens box set. As I said at the outset, if that looks cool to you, this will be one of our prizes. This is my copy. You have a brand new copy that Beadle and Grimm's very generously donated to be a prize for our next charity raffle to support the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. If this looks cool to you, you can find a place down... for a couple of different things, I'll say. For one, you can purchase your own. If you want to buy one, I have a link down below to the Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse website, and specifically to this product. So you can go there and you can purchase this product directly from them. If you want to get a chance to win a copy of this, you can find a link down below to the Heroes Save Villages campaign. You follow that through, and for every $25 Canadian that you donate to that initiative, you will get one chance to win the grand prize, which is our Platinum Edition of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, or this one. I will say too, from my review of the other book, by not having any of the monster cards in here, and just having levels, and if you're not familiar with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it's very it follows the same 20 level track that 5th edition does, which is to say that you can pretty easily use this content with 5th edition or with AD&D 2nd edition or whatever your preferred brand of D&D 3rd. 4th edition would be the challenging one because it's got a 30 level spread as opposed to the 20, and it's a very different animal. But I mean, you could easily make use of this content with with your own preferred version of D&D as well. Maybe I should try making use of it for a AD&D 2nd one again, just to use it as an exemplar. So in addition to that, I will say all donations that go to the Heroes Save Villages campaign go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. It just goes to help those kids. And if you don't win these 2 prizes, we have some other great prizes as well, including a chainmail dice bag made by one of our players. We have a full set of the Iron Kingdom's 5th edition books that recently came out. We have a bunch of prizes from the Dungeon Musings Red Bubble Shop. So there's a bunch of other ways of saying thank you. But this is, definitely one of the more prominent prizes here. Pretty cool stuff. I have work I have to get done tonight, and I really don't want to because I want to read this more now. I will also say that we have a link down below. If you will not be able to purchase this, but if you want to purchase some Pathfinder 2nd edition stuff or perhaps some out of print or older things, I have a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is a terrific retailer out of the US. They have been my preferred source for out of print games for a number of years, and they have very generously offered us a discount code to share with you folks. So if you do want to go and purchase some stuff, stock up on your Pathfinder 2nd edition or other gaming stuff, you can head to the Noble Knight site, and at checkout, enter the code DungeonMuser, and you will save 10% on your purchase. If your board games or whatnot, or card games are more of your brand, they can help you out with that as well. But for me, it's their massive stock of out-of-print or hard-to-find books that really I love them for. That stacks as well, too, with any of their ongoing sales, so you can save yourself a little extra money on top of whatever you're saving on their sales. So you can find that over there. The last thing I will say is, once again, an enormous thank you to Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. I'm going to treasure this sucker just as a purchaser, as a customer, but we are enormously grateful to their generosity and the fact that they've supported every single one of our charity raffles we've had for like the last 3 years is just something that we cannot be grateful enough for. To date, we've raised close to $10,000 to benefit SOS Children's Villages International, and that is mind-blowing. We were recently recognized as one of the star campaigns to help them in their annual report, and that would likely not have been possible had it not been for the generosity of Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. So thank you so much, guys. I so appreciate folks, I so appreciate the support that you've given our charity initiatives. So with that, I'll check and see if there's any questions we got in chat here. Love you some Sooks. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Arthur, those the player and GM facing screen hangers are something they've had since their first box set was for Dragon Heist. And it's just they've done nothing but improve. Their box set started off incredible, and then each successive version has just been just leaps and bounds. And this one, this is easily meets my expectations in terms of what I was hoping for as a successor to that sort of city system, city-based thing. It's just great. And I mean, honestly, it's the first one that I would use as my go-to reference thing. Like when I'm prepping games or I'm trying to read through the content, I'd use this over I would the hardback, just because I find that like the cross-referencing you would need to do over the course of reading a inter-referenced game like this is just, going to be great. So anyway, with that, thank you everyone who joined us live, and anyone who has viewed this later on as well. A huge thank you as well to anyone who donates to the Heroes Save Villages campaign. You have until June 1st, 2022 to get your donations in. And after that, we will be doing our raffle draw live. So anyway, with that, I'll wrap this up. Until I see you again, I hope this has given you about an hour's worth of time. Take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the incredible adventures that your heroes could get up to in the City of Lost Omens with this beautiful box set. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.